Hey guys, greetings. How's your week going? Mine's been not too bad. Wow. I've heard about the latest governing body news and I had to something I can't let this one pass without making a video about it. So it's regarding the Jehovah's Witness Convention 2022, the Pursue Peace Convention. Of course, they've all been online since COVID, but I can tell you from going to conventions for about, 18 years altogether. Yeah, even when I was studying, I would go to conventions and assemblies. You're just sitting listening to Bible talks all day. It's boring. And I went way before the days when. And I went when the days were long gone that they would give everybody a hot meal. I heard when I went, we had to bring our own lunches. But yeah, I can tell you, you're not missing a whole lot there. Anyways, at the online 2022 conventions, it was Stephen Lett who was giving a talk, and I'm going to repeat what he said, like pretty much word for word, a few things that he said. We're not born as friends of God. We're born as sinful offspring of Adam. We're born as enemies of God. People might say, look at that little angel. They should more accurately say, look at that little enemy of God. Wow. In my head, I am just in awe, but in a bad way, of, wow. They just keep digging themselves in the hole deeper and deeper, don't they? To hear this spoken by a governing body member, it just shocks me. Well, it does and it doesn't. It does. Because they keep screwing up like this, but then it doesn't, because they've done this kind of stuff before. Said crap like this before. It's horrible, it's disgusting. Like, you treat kids pretty bad as is over the years. I think it really shows what your real attitude is towards children, governing body Watchtower, and it is not a good one. Because apparently we give birth to little demons who are pretty much enemies of God unless they become a Jehovah's Witness when they're old enough. So I wanted to get into a little bit of my thoughts on this latest, what I think and what came into my head of what I thought. Not only have they directed their hate speech to the adult members in the past, and now they're aiming it at little babies too. When a baby's born, it's they're pretty much like blank slate. They are, there's no personality to say when a child is born. They develop one as they grow up, a little bit based on what they inherit from their parents, the environment they're raised in, how the parents raised them. There's various factors, the friends that they'll have throughout their life. That's what shapes their personality. Like, they're nothing when they're born, and to call them an enemy of God as soon as they're born, wow. No regard, no respect, take their dignity from them as soon as they're born. This really, Watchtower? Really? And the next thing I thought of, not only is Watchtower in more recent years being exposed for their child abuse and pedophile issues in the congregations around the world, like the Australian Royal Commission, and they're making elders They're making the members like deny or give a false story or hide all the files and the folders and info that they might have on these pedophiles in their own congregation. And I think too there have been congregations that will not tell their own members within that congregation who might be a pedophile, like who to watch out for. Like they've really gone one step higher now, one more dig deep into that hole by calling children enemies of God. You know, I think too of like the publications for kids, like the Bible book, like my Bible book of, like my book of Bible stories and Listen to the Great Teacher. Now, I personally didn't grow up with these books, but I've read and listened to the stories of many ex-members who have grown up with these books and just how traumatizing they are in a way, like depicting people dying and just illustrations, or at least in pictures, or maybe you could say even to at least the way that the Watchtower illustrators chose to illustrate them and portray them and to put them in children's books. It's like traumatizing, and it's really not suitable for very, very young minds. I think more like preschool or under 10, basically. Like, you know, for me it was, there was a few shows and movies that scared me that were not even horror movies, but they had just had, more like creature features, they would call them, and they just, oh man, I would see little segments because my parents or family was watching them, and I'm just, like, really scare me as a kid. So I'm just more happy that I didn't have to grow up with the Watchtower's books for kids, or that are supposedly for kids. And then I move on to thinking about the conventions, assemblies, meetings. These are not designed for kids. You know, because the kids are expected to just sit there and behave, you know. The kids are just expected to sit there and behave, you know, sit still, be quiet, and listen. And when you're really young, that ain't gonna happen. Yeah. Because the Kingdom Halls and that, all these places, they don't have Sunday schools. They don't even do, like, anything fun for the kids, really. Not really. Of, like, kids' music, like, nope. And the conventions, they would, I think the highlight for the kids, if anything, was the, before all the videos, it was the, live action dramas they would put on, whereas more now in recent years they do more of the videos that they, but you know, I remember lots of parents that would have to, well, mainly the mothers, just basically like sit with their kids in the mother room for the entire meeting, because you couldn't have any kind of toy or anything that would make the slightest bit of noise. It was just man, or I feel bad for all the kids that would get a walloping or a good smack if they made too much noise or didn't pay attention at these meetings, and then taking little kids out in service and handing them magazines. I know it can be kind of more pressure on a lot of the people at the doors to take the literature, because they're really going to be mean and say no to a little kid. You know, it's, ugh. So then, of course, I have to move on to the Caleb and Sophia videos. Ooh, man. I'm glad there's no kids in my family that have been exposed and watched these videos. I've seen a few of them. They're not well done. I don't like them. I don't even like the way the family looks. They're nothing but propaganda videos, and everything that they've done and made that is geared more towards children. The most notable have been, give us your ice cream money, encouraging the kids to donate money now to the organization so they can buy their Rolex watches. Just utter nonsense, really. There's so many children that have grown up and suffered abuse and mistreatment over the years, being raised as Jehovah's Witnesses, and I can only imagine the trauma and the heartbreak to go through, to have your elders and the parents not believe you because of the 2-witness rule, or they don't want to look bad, like it's never about you, it's just about the organization looking good. So my heart really does go out to those who have suffered the abuse. At least it's all over now. Better days are ahead. And you know what? Keep being brave. Just keep exposing the Watchtower and all their child abuse and pedophiles, because we can't let that keep being covered up. And finally, I just wanted to ask probably the most an important question to end this. How did Jesus view children? Well, there's a scripture in Matthew where they tried to, I think it's Matthew, where the little children wanted to come to him. The disciples tried to stop them, but Jesus said, no, let the little children come to me. Do not try to stop them. For the kingdom of the heavens belongs to such ones. So, obviously, Jesus didn't push them away, or, he treated them very kindly, very respectfully. Pretty much the opposite of how Watchtower treats them. So, thank you for watching my video, guys. Please hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Have a good week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.